Coraline was directed by Henry Selick and was the first film ever made by Laika Studios. Coraline Jones and her parents moved to an apartment complex known as the Pink Palace, where she's feeling not only homesick but also deprived of attention from her parents. But when Coraline discovers a small door that leads to an alternate dimension that's almost exactly like her own world, except everyone has buttons for eyes, she begins feeling at home. Of course, until she starts to unravel the sinister secrets of this dimension and its leader, the Bedlam. We are on the brink of Halloween, and I thought it'd be a great idea to review one of my favorite creepy movies ever made, and that is Coraline, coming from Laika Studios. This was their very first ever made feature film movie. They also brought us Kubo and the Two Strings, and most recently Missing Link. The director of this movie is Henry Selick. He previously directed The Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach, and he has actually not directed anything since he made Coraline, which is pretty crazy because the guy has so much talent, obviously, but it's a pretty nice movie to leave off on when you're going on a hiatus for such a long time. Now, back in 2009 when Coraline came out, it was a controversial movie because a lot of parents thought it was too dark and scary for a kid's movie. I saw this movie in theaters with my mom when I was about 11 years old, and when I left that theater, I was extremely surprised, but also very happy from the treat that ended up being Coraline. This movie is so riveting, and to this day I am in love with Coraline, and it's not just because of it being a darker kids movie, it's also because of the groundbreaking stop motion animation work done by Laika Studios. In present day, this is animation that still looks great. This is a movie that you need to experience at least once in 3D. I cannot talk highly enough about the animation work done by Laika Studios in the film Coraline. It looks amazing. But obviously, I cannot forget to mention the other reason why I love this movie so much. It really is a dark kids movie, and you don't see movies like this at all in 2019. Usually when you have an animated film, they're all lighthearted, they do have some themes, but they don't do anything too scary or too dark for kids to watch. And Coraline did the complete opposite. They went in some directions that I did not expect when watching this movie in 2009, and I loved it as a kid back then, and I still love it now. There are moments in Coraline that haunt your brain while watching, like the spiderweb sequence, or even when Coraline is asked to sew buttons into her eyes. As a kid, that freaked me out so much. One thing I do not understand at all, though, is why do no animation studios make movies like this anymore? There's so much you can do with an animated film. You can't do the same things with a live action movie like you can do in animated films. And I just don't quite understand why there have never been any films made in the last 10 or so years like Coraline in terms of animated films. There's so much you can do, and yet nobody has done anything like Coraline since 2009. But one thing you truly cannot ignore after watching Coraline are the amount of theories that are attached with this film. There's so many different ways to look at this movie and the meanings behind it. What was their idea with one scene and what was their thinking with another? You could look at this movie and have one theory, while another person could have another theory about this movie, and it would completely make sense, which is great. I love it when a movie makes me think. I want to theorize and speculate about one scene after the other, and Coraline does that perfectly in this movie, and it gives you everything on a silver platter to think about constantly. This opens the possibilities to a Coraline sequel and prequel. Do I think it will happen? Probably not, but there are some openings because of how vast this world is, plus not everything is answered. There are many questions that I still have to this day after watching this movie so many times, but I'm completely fine with that. I don't like it when everything is given to us. I like having some questions by the end of a film. Oh, and the themes. Coraline has so much to offer with its themes and what you can take away. One of my favorites has to do with bravery. It's okay to be scared, but you should also overcome your fears and be brave. So Coraline is one heck of a ride. This movie is so layered. There's a lot that you can pull from this movie, and it'll take you a very long time to understand everything coming from it. The only thing I wish they would have done differently with this movie is that they could have possibly expanded on the themes in Coraline from the book. There is 1 or 2 themes that I wish they would have added into this movie, but it's already over an hour and 30 minutes, which is about the maximum time that I like for an animated movie anyway. For the first time in over a year, I am giving Coraline a 100%. I was genuinely shocked the other night when I watched this movie for about the 15th time, and it still gave me chills and I had a little trouble going to sleep. So props to Laika for their very first movie made. I love this one, and I don't think anything made by Laika could ever top Coraline. But of course, you guys should let me know down below in the comment section if Coraline is Laika's best movie and if this is one of your favorite movies to watch around Halloween. If you're new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.